Today, we are going to be taking a look at the 2017 flagship AEG line from ICS, the CXP MARS, or Modern Assault Rifle System. The MARS rifles are the evolution of the ever-popular CXP series and feature completely ambidextrous controls and all of the familiar internal parts that make the ICS CXP line so popular with players around the world. The MARS rifles come in a variety of different configurations and colorways. All of them feature a unique CNC machined handguard with a cutout inspired by the mouth of the Komodo dragon. The models available are the SBR, or short barreled rifle, which is the shortest of the MARS rifles and features an MTR stock. The carbine, which is the full-size rifle of the family. The Komodo, which features the MTR S1 stock and a longer handguard that extends over the flash hider, giving the Komodo that hidden barrel aesthetic that is totally in right now. And finally we have the DMR, or Designated Marksman Rifle, the longest of the MARS rifles, which comes with the UK SR adjustable marksman stock. All four of these rifles are available entirely black, entirely tan, or a mixed two-tone with tan highlights over a black base. Alongside the two different colorways, there are two versions of the trigger unit. The first, named FET, has a standard trigger unit and the inline mosfet. The second, S3, features the new S3 electronic trigger. While the silhouette of the MARS is easily identifiable at first glance as another M4 rifle, upon closer inspection it isn't just another M4. There are many subtle differences both aesthetically and ergonomically. The most obvious of these is the aggressive design of the receiver. It takes a classic AR-15 styling but flattens out all those round edges and completely does away with the forward assist lever. In this video, we'll be taking a look solely at the SBR version of the MARS rifles. With this being a fictional firearm and not really a replica of anything that is out in the real world, there are no real trademarks or logos. The markings the MARS does feature, starting from the left hand side of the magazine well, are the MARS logo and Modern Assault Rifle System, with the relevant caliber markings and serial number just below. Above this on the upper receiver are the letters CXP. The top of the contoured pistol grip features the ICS branding. The opposite side of the rifle has the following text: Airsoft Electric Gun, manufactured by ICS Taiwan ROC. Then it has the ASG logo, followed by the F pentagon and the caliber markings, making it safe for the German market. The ICS branding is also featured on both sides of the MTR stock, and the chest piece ICS logo is on the butt plate. The front and rear flip-up sights also feature the ICS and CXP markings. The SBR is the shortest of the MARS family and features a 9-inch outer barrel with a CNC machined aluminium handguard featuring a combination of both keymod slots and 20mm Picatinny rails. This allows for a very lightweight and slimline handguard with the option to add more rails and accessories as the user wishes. Included in the box are 3 optional rail sections, 2 short and 1 medium in length, which can be attached to the keymod sections of the rail. At the rear end of the SBR you will find the MTR stock, which is a modernized version of the classic LE style retractable stock. It has a mounting point for a QD sling swivel and a large, easy to access button to adjust the stock through its 6 positions. The top section of the butt plate can be pulled away to allow access to the battery inside the stock. Inside the stock tube is enough space for a LiPo battery. A little note on battery usage: while the ICS rifles are rated to run on 11V LiPo, because of the downgraded spring for the UK market, it is recommended that a 7V battery is used instead. All of the wiring is cleverly hidden away in the adjustment rails of the buffer tube to free up as much space for batteries in there as possible. Another nifty feature is the butt stop on the bottom of the rail. This rubber plug can be placed at any point along the stop tube and restricts how short the stock can be adjusted. This is to prevent any larger batteries being squashed by the stock being retracted too far. The backup iron sights are 2-stage and can be used in either the raised or lowered position. Unlike the previous generation of CXP buoys, which were spring tension released, these simply flip up and down by hand. At the point where the buffer tube meets the receiver is an ambidextrous sling loop, which features the ICS branding. The pistol grip is just what you would expect from the CXP range. Solid, stippled and contoured, it has that classic ICS pseudo-magpul aesthetic to it. The flash hider is much more aggressive looking than the standard birdcage style and unscrews to reveal a 14mm counterclockwise thread. The fire selector is ambidextrous and cycles from safe through semi and automatic. The markings are very HK in their design. Rather than having the words safe, semi and auto, it features easy to understand diagrams. The extended magazine release, as with the fire selector, is usable by both left and right-handed shooters. The trigger is a flat speed style trigger which makes for a smooth short trigger pull, especially in the S3 version. Internally, the big difference between the S3 and FET lies in the lower gearbox. Where the FET version has the standard trigger switch, the S3 has an electronic trigger which allows for a number of interesting features, including a self-diagnostic shooting system, which is where the term S3 comes from. The automatic fire mode can be tuned from continuous to burst mode. When running at an 11V LiPo, burst mode will give you a 3-round burst, whereas with a 7V, I found it will only give you a 2-round burst. The trigger pull on the S3 version is very short and smooth. As it is an electronic trigger, there is no physical reset. As a result, it only needs moving forwards a few millimeters to allow it to be pulled again for a follow-up shot. For more information on the S3 trigger, take a look at the instructional video over on the ICS YouTube channel. Check out the cards for a direct link to that. As with all of the CXP line, the MARS is powered by the V2 Split Gearbox. The version in the MARS rifles is electric blowback and has a quick change spring guide. The only tool you need to remove the spring guide is a number 4 Allen key. Rotating it 45 degrees allows the spring to push the guide out from the rear of the gearbox. This means spring changes to keep your gun sight legal are super quick and easy. The hop-up unit is the standard ICS rotary design and constructed from metal. It is accessible through the ejection port by pulling back the charging handle. The spring tension release is activated by setting the rifle to safe. To find out the muzzle velocity of both of these rifles, we will head over to the chrono station. We'll be running 0.2 gram BBs through a Fire Dragon chrono. The S3 chronoed on average at 334 feet per second, and the FET came in a little lower, around 320. Now we head over to the range to check the accuracy of both rifles. For this test, we'll be firing at an A4 target around 20 to 25 meters away with 0.25 gram BBs. The guns will be locked in a stable position in a controlled environment with no wind or weather to affect the shots. I'll be firing in groups of 5 rounds. Again, we'll be testing both versions of the MARS. Fire in. With both of these tests in the bag, we can see that the MARS is a very effective platform. Despite its relatively short barrel length, the SBR can put round after round on target and keep a respectable grouping. As always with my reviews, I like to get out and play with the guns before I give my true opinions on them. I took the FET over to the Labyrinth in Bury and the S3 over to SWAT in Liverpool and gave them a good run for their money. Both performed really well in the tight confines of the CQB environment. The S3 in particular was incredible for laying down a solid base of fire despite being restricted to semi-automatic. Now let's take a look at some of that gameplay.
No.
everybody get your guns on that door. There's nobody else in this room over this side, is there?
I don't know.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Wait, before you guys run it.
My final thoughts. The MARS SBR is a solid, well-built AEG that encompasses all of the key features that make the ICS CXP series much sought after. Would I recommend this gun? Without a doubt. Now, given the fact that I am sponsored by ICS, that might seem to be a biased opinion. However, before I was sponsored, I have been running ICS guns for over a decade, simply because they work well, last a long time, and are incredibly reliable. And this gun is an improvement on pretty much every ICS CXP that has gone before it. If you're a new player and you want an AEG that will possibly outlast your career, or you're a veteran player with many years under your belt, in my opinion, you can't go wrong with the MARS SBR. If you have any questions about the MARS series of rifles, drop them down below and I will do my best to answer them. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like it and subscribe to see more gameplay, reviews, vlogs, and you can catch our podcast. Before I sign off, I'd like to give a big thanks to Paul at ASG and FET at ICS for helping me get hold of these rifles to review. You guys are both awesome, and without your help this review might not have been possible. If you haven't already, head over to ICS and ASG Facebook pages and drop them a like, and be sure to keep your eyes on both pages and the UK ICS Captain page for events coming up at sites and retail stores where you can get your hands on the MARS rifles to see for yourself why they are one of the best out-of-the-box AEGs on the market right now. Thanks for watching. I'm the UK ICS Captain Magaz, and remember kids, the air may be soft, but our balls are hard.